What's up? It's Andy here with you on a Tuesday to dish out some of my favorite NHL bets. Now, depending on the kind of bettor you are, that probably dictates the mood that you're in today. Now, if you're somebody who just takes every bet individually, you make 10 bets, you hope to hit 6, and then you're happy, then you're probably in a good mood today. If you are a, what's the term?
Parlay? That's the one.
Parlay master, then you're probably not too happy today because we had a couple of overtime games yesterday. And that means if you took any teams in 60 or anything, like you took Calgary in 60, they screwed you. You took Dallas in 60, they screwed you. But if you took everything straight, we hit those nice plus money bets. We hit the -1.5 with Toronto. We hit the puck line total combo with Toronto, the -1.5 over 5.5. Then we were able to get the under in that Dallas Buffalo game, despite the fact that, Buffalo has a very good offense. The bets that I talked about at the top of yesterday's video were winners. The under in the Calgary game, unfortunately, did not come through. But for the most part, this was a day that you should be hovering over the equator. The main bets that I gave at the beginning of the video, they were true, and hopefully we can use some of those to fund our Tuesday bets because there's a way bigger slate on this Tuesday, and there are two that I really like, one that I almost like as much as those two, and then a couple of sniffs. You guys always come here for a few sniffs, so you come here for some, you leave here with some. So I will start with the DraftKings Sportsbook promotion. Same promotion, you bet $5 on anything, and DraftKings Sportsbook will immediately credit your account with $200 in free bet credits. It's that simple, really. You bet $5 on the worst team in the league and they get crushed. Oh well, you still got $200 in your account courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. You just got to be a new user. You got to be located in a state where sports gambling is legal. You got to be 21. So as long as you check those, you're good. But if you don't check any of those and you're still trying to get a workaround, then you got a problem. And if you got a problem, call 1-800. I wish it was I got a problem, but it's 1-800-GAMBLER. If you have an issue, there are people waiting to answer your call and help you out. I don't know how they do it, but I'm sure they have some methods. And if you don't believe me, call them. Anyway, on this Tuesday, I'm going to get right to it. I'm going to start with my favorite two bets of the day. The first one, this is a team that we've been on. We were a few days early, but they've paid off for us ever since, and that was the Colorado Avalanche. They need these points very much. Now, they're on a nice win streak, but still, they are on the fringe of the top three in their division, and they need these points. They can't afford to go on another little mini losing streak, and they've done a great job recently racking up wins both at home and on the road, and they're facing a team. This is the Washington Capitals we're talking about. They played Vegas the other night, and they got absolutely crushed because before that, it was the Blue Jackets and the Islanders and the Blue Jackets again, the Flyers twice. They were not facing good competition, but I was watching those games, and I mean, these guys suck. And they lost to the Wild last week. That paid off for us, and I'm thinking they're losing to the Avalanche on this fine night. So I'm going to take the Colorado Avalanche and the over in that one. I know that was a close game versus Seattle, but that is a game that you would expect to be that way. That was a very tight, tense game between two teams in the Western Conference. It's a little bit different. You got Washington, you got Colorado. It's not like there is familiarity between the two teams. I'm hoping this one ends up like that Vegas game. I'm hoping Washington catches another beating, although after a beating like that, you'd imagine a team puts forth a better effort. But I don't think they have John Carlson still. I think they're ripe for the picking. I haven't really changed my disposition on them all year. When I watch them, I'm thoroughly unimpressed. They have to grind their way to wins. Ovechkin's still a great shooter, but not enough for me to take out this streaking Colorado team who probably has Makar fully back now. So I will take the Colorado Avalanche in that one. And then my next favorite is probably going to be using one of my favorite formulas, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who that losing streak is in the rearview mirror. I know you could probably look, but they lost the other day 2-1 to New Jersey. That's different. It's an overtime. The game was 1-1. You lose. Overtime losses are fake losses. Dallas lost to Buffalo yesterday. Fake loss. Calgary won in overtime. Fake win. Once you get to overtime, you're talking about 3-on-3 all-star style hockey. So I know I don't really mention this if it goes our way, but you get real lucky if you get an overtime or shootout win. Like if you have a parlay and you hit because your team wins in a shootout, just know you're pretty lucky. However, Pittsburgh, they lost to New Jersey in overtime. They had that home win that paid us off, I think, the night before that. And they've turned that play around. They were on that big losing streak, and I really think they've turned it around. They're starting to score more. I like where they're at. And now they're playing Florida, who screwed us in that Colorado game about a week and a half ago. But Florida, this is one of my favorite combos. Played New York, the Rangers that is, lost, played bad hockey. Now they have to go on the ice the next night with that stench hanging off of them. Now you could say, oh, but they probably want to get right back on the ice and right the ship. I don't think it works like that. When you play poorly and you get out there, I don't know, you got that, like I said, you got that bad juju still on you, and when you're facing a team who's playing well at home, just waiting for you to come in, who didn't play last night, I just like taking that team. And I just want to reiterate, it doesn't guarantee they're going to win. It gives me a slight advantage. You give me a slight advantage, and I have no choice but to take it every single time. So give me the Pittsburgh Penguins. Those two are probably my favorite. And then my bronze medal is probably the Tampa Bay Lightning versus the Minnesota Wild under 6.5. Now, I'm sorry. I have a feeling there's a 96% chance by the time you see this, it's going to be down to 6. But if you can manage to get it at 6.5, then consider yourself lucky and go ahead and take that. But if you didn't, don't worry. I will clean that up and fix that by the end of this video. All right. So just hold on to that thought. So though that's probably my third favorite pick. You know, every time you come here, you're probably looking for a couple of sniffs. Let me give you a couple of sniffs. The first one, now, you're not going to be happy that a sniff is going to be a minus bet, but the Detroit Red Wings really need a win. They're at home against an incredibly beatable team, a team that's so beatable that I advise people to take the Blue Jackets against them the other day, because when you're playing a bad team, if you're mediocre, all of a sudden mediocre looks pretty good. And Detroit is one of these teams, they still think they're on the fringe of that playoff race, like in that Buffalo territory, a little behind the Buffalo and Florida territory, but they're in that grouping where they feel like if they can make one push, they will be in it, and that has to start at home. Like, if you have serious playoff aspirations, even though they don't, but if you're convincing yourself you do, this is not a game you cannot lose to the Sharks on home ice. You have to find a way to win this one. I think they will, so give me Detroit at home against the San Jose Sharks in this one. Next one is kind of a pure sniff. I'm going to go with the underdog Nashville Predators at home against the Winnipeg Jets. I think just the matchup stylistically, it's good for them. Could Winnipeg still win? Yes. But it's not a team that's going to overwhelm them with multiple lines and a lot of speed. It's a team that plays relatively similar to them, which is why I think the over-under is like 5.5 in this one. I'm expecting for Nashville to trickle out a win in this one, like a 3-2 win, potentially 4-2, but I'm going to take Nashville to beat Winnipeg in this one. And then lastly, post-firing of Bruce Boudreau, give me Vancouver at home. I know they're a heavy favorite against Chicago. Vancouver turned from a team who I couldn't figure out. All of a sudden, I think I've hit 2 or 3 in a row on them. I'm thinking they're coming out after this firing. These players on there, whether they're going to be a piece of a trade to leave town, like the Bo Horvats of the world, or people who want to impress their new coach, this should be a game that's set up well for them to win, in terms of the motivation for the players and then their opponent, and then the fact that they're on home ice and haven't been traveling or anything like that. So I'll take Vancouver, and I told you to hold that pick. So if you saw that the Tampa, Minnesota total is at 6 on your site, then go to the adjusted total, knock it back up to 6.5, even though they're probably going to send you like minus 135 or something, and then combine that with the high minus Vancouver line, because I think Vancouver is going to win this one in the first game after Bruce Boudreau's firing. There's a little bit of emotion. Everyone got a little emotional after that one, so I think they'll be able to translate that into one win. Long term, no, but one game against Chicago, I think they'll be able to do. If you want to combine that with the under 6.5 in Tampa, even if you have to buy it up a little bit, I'm good with that 2-game parlay. All right, everyone, that's what I got for you on this Tuesday. Good luck to all of you. Better luck to me. We'll look to keep this week going. I think Monday should have been a winning day for the majority of you. If not, it means you got too many parlays on deck.
Parlay?
So I will be back with you tomorrow. Make sure you're subscribed to the Odd Shopper channel here, but don't forget it. It's not just me repeating it. They need you to do it because as those numbers grow, they say, Andy, you're doing well. Because if I'm not doing well, who knows? I might just leave you all. That might be it, you know? Like, turn off the light, turn off the light. Come follow me on social media. It's Andy Francis on every single platform known to man, every last one. That name on the bottom left of your screen. If you type that in, oh, that's the guy. I'm giving the people's eyebrow in all of my profile pictures. That's how you know you got the right guy. You click that, you click follow, and I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Take it easy.